Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for another video. We're going to have an all-round Manchester United chat today. Normally the day after the game, we have a sit-down with yous out there so you can get your opinions in on the previous day's game. So we're going to do it today. Obviously, we've done that interview yesterday. Everyone who joined us in there and watched that video, it's much appreciated. And we will probably do another one with someone who you request in the new year. So keep a lookout for that one. But how are you feeling today, especially after that game on Sunday?
I'm feeling all right today. Yesterday, thought I'd have a rest. That game, really enjoyed it to a point of there's hard work. And I mean, when I say enjoy, hard work, that's what's got to come.
So rest yesterday, feet up?
Well, I wouldn't say a rest. I was forced out the house. Your mum wasn't having any of that. I was forced to put a false floor in the shed, in the garden. I've just about thawed out now, but I'm looking forward to discussing Sunday's game because it is a tough task going forward.
Yeah, I actually slept like a baby last night. I've got to admit, it was the first time in a long time I actually managed to get 10 hours sleep of a night time, which is very, very rare in my world. Woke up this morning looking like a panda, you know, all bog-eyed and that, wondering where I was. But yeah, getting into the chat on Manchester United, I can see a load of comments coming through already. Have your say on what we're going to discuss, and we will discuss some of your comments as well throughout today's video. And I did see one earlier on from Robert Smith saying the biggest problem with these players is that they have no self-belief, no confidence until they start winning games. Do you see that as a problem with a lot of these players? No self-belief, confidence, or is it simply a case of some of them are just not up to standard?
Well, I look at it this way. You say confidence, and confidence, especially with centre-forwards, they need to score goals. If you're scoring goals, your confidence is high. But what I do look at overall is the squad. When you look at Erik ten Hag, with his squad, it wasn't suited. Some players just weren't suited. Even players what he bought weren't suited to Erik ten Hag's tactics. What you've got to hope for is that these players now have the confidence going forward with the new coach, Ruben Amorim, and all the other coaches, new tactics. So the confidence, you have to look at Ruben Amorim. Great stature of a man. Everything he says, he just oozes class. And you've got to hope that they can be suited to the tactics. I think it's a tough ask.
Are you surprised by this? I've seen a stat over the weekend, and it was the United players only ran 102 kilometres combined in the draw against Ipswich, and that's the second lowest tally of any United fixture this season. Are you surprised by that? You know, considering it is Amorim's first game, a lot of us expected a big bounce, motivation amongst the players wanting to work hard. Or do you think it was a case of the players he had a choice of to select in there, maybe not enough legs to get up and down the pitch?
I think when you told me that stat this morning, I was shocked.
Was you?
I was shocked. I expected something else from the players. You know, if you look before the game, Amorim identified United's failings, and running was one of the main things that he needed to change. And also the physicality, the way the players put themselves about. They clearly didn't put themselves about with the running and the physicality. So I'm shocked to see that. Is it the tactics? Is it the way he went in the second half? Because the way I seen that second half go, I did identify that he brought the two substitutes on, and that was to shore up the back and the midfield. No more attacking because we was too open. I think maybe that was one of the reasons why you're seeing not a lot of running in the stats.
Yeah, Keith Stitt said actually in the chat, physicality is the key to playing the Amorim way, but we don't have 11 players that can do that. You know, surely when you look at the squad, when players are fit and available, you're looking in the two central midfield areas. You know, we had Casemiro and Eriksen play on Sunday. You'd expect him to change that though, wouldn't you? When you get his players with more training time on the training ground, like Agate, Mainu, etc. Would you expect them to start?
Well, listen, I'm not too sure on players starting. It was difficult to get 11 out there, what he'd coach with. But when you talk about physicality, you go back to Erik ten Hag's squad again, and you say to yourself, well, was there really a physicality there? And if you look at Ipswich, the game on Sunday, I mean, once they recovered their composure, they physically imposed themselves on United. And you don't really get to see that. We've not seen that for a long time. And it's one of the main things what Amorim has identified. And you have to have physicality. We don't seem to have that, especially in the midfield. Midfield, again, was overrun. in the game on against Ipswich, and we've seen that time and time again. Wide open, not able to put a presence in there. But the good thing is, Amorim has identified that, and he knows that going forward, it's going to be tough to change that, and it's getting the right people in. But who is the right people for these tactics? Because clearly the tactics under Erik ten Hag, players couldn't adapt, or as some people would say, they didn't want to adapt. They were just looking after themselves. But I think under Amorim, these players want to respond. It's just a matter of, are they capable?
Derek says, it's simple. I've said it in the last year that the majority of our players are mid-tier. We simply don't have enough quality. I think Ruben will take the next 2 to 3 windows and make a lot of changes. Do you think he will give the majority of the first team squad the chance from now until the end of the season, instead of like maybe looking to the youth setup to try and promote any of the younger ones who probably will give you that athleticism and who are mobile to get up and down the pitch? Because you look in the wide areas, especially wing-back positions, that's a vital role in his tactics, to get up and down the pitch as well.
I think Ruben Amorim and the coaches are going to give everyone a chance, because this system has to work, because it's the way Amorim sets his team up. So they're all going to get a chance, because it's completely different than what they've been used to at Manchester United. So I think young players what are in the squad, injured players will all be looking, to be utilised in this system. I don't think anyone's guaranteed a place here. Because Ruben Amorim will take a look, and he will sort of change people from their comfort zone and put them in different positions to suit the system. And it might not work, but I think everyone is going to get the chance. Everyone will be used.
Yeah, I do think Mason Mount's going to get a chance. The big issue with Mason Mount, as we all know, is whether he can stay off that injury table long enough and be consistent, where he's fit enough for selection. But I do think he would have a place in this Amorim team, just because of he is mobile. He has got legs where he can get up and down the pitch and impose himself further forward to get himself into the faces of the opposition as well. We've seen a bit of it on, I think it was on Sky on Monday night, with Jamie Carragher doing a bit of analysis with Casemiro, Eriksen, when they were pushing further forward. And for me, Mason Mount in that role, I think he would be pretty good, to be honest with you, where he would be giving us a lot more than what Casemiro and Eriksen would.
I think when you look at Mason Mount, to be honest with you, this is a fantastic opportunity for him. Yeah. Yes, he's been injury ravaged. This is the chance now. He can make a mark on this team, and he does work. He is a hard worker. I'll give him that all over the pitch. The couple of times he's been able to get on the pitch, you've seen him getting everywhere, running around, and so he just might slot right in here once he's fit. Is he fit now? Yes, he came on for a few minutes the other day. Will it take time? Of course it will. And you have to look forward for the next 6 months, really. It's not going to be pretty, what we see on that pitch sometimes, because a lot of it will be an experiment. That's how I see it, because of the system, and the players aren't used to it. But Mason Mount, for me, I think this is a fantastic opportunity for him. His injury record, that might hinder him. But I also people were talking about Martinez, waiting for Martinez to come back in this system. Yeah. He'll be a fantastic addition. But there is a slight worry about Martinez. Yeah. And people have been talking, people have been whispering it. A little bit of doubt there, keeps getting injured. So that there is something to look out for going forward, because I think Martinez in the position in the back three is going to be a great addition. But there is a big worry. So let's hope he's overcome them injury worries.
Every position's important in a team, we all know that, but like we discussed earlier on about the wing-back positions, I'd just like to know out there your opinions on it, who your first choices would be in that left wing-back role and right wing-back role as well. As we've seen Ahmad on the right wing-back role, obviously set up the goal, a great, fantastic run by him against Ipswich, but do you see him there long-term?
No, I don't. I don't see anyone, really, in the wing-back roles there long term at this moment. I think when you talk about 6 months, I think you'll see different partnerships, different people using that role. I'm not too sure who actually suits it, because I've not seen any of them play it on a regular basis.
True.
And I think you need people with the skills, with the communication skills especially, to work together. And I think it's a work in progress, this. And I think you will see change. Yes, Ahmad, I like what he does. He runs back and that. But he got caught out, ball watching. So it's an early role for him. I love Ahmad going forward. I did say it before the Ipswich game, and you've just seen that when he does get the ball, running at people, they're frightened to death.
He gets you off your seat as well, Ahmad, doesn't he?
It gets you off your seat and that. But in this formation against Ipswich, we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe because the system allowed Ipswich to come back into the game after the shock of conceding so early on, because they got their composure back. They come at United, they use the physicality, and they use their running tactics and everything, and they run through United's midfield. They were on the attack. So really, it's early days for Ahmad. Great going forward. Will he be good enough to do the role? And I think you've got to say that about most players, left and right, whoever takes that role up.
Yeah, just like to thank everyone for joining us today, getting involved in the chats, popping off in there. We'll get through some of your opinions throughout today's video. Fred Granfin, absolute legend, has gifted 5 memberships. The 5 people who've got them, please give a big thank you to Fred the legend. Mark Farrelly says, we should be looking at hidden gems in the Championship, lower leagues, players that would appreciate playing for a huge club like Manchester United.
Well, I think we should be looking for gems and people to work on, and I think that really, going forward, is what United want. They're looking for gems, little gems, looking for gems in their own academy and everything else like that. And I think Ruben Amorim with his coaches will know 1 or 2 little gems he can work on and bring over possibly. But gems is the word, because going out there looking for the big money buys and all that hasn't worked in the past. Ruben Amorim's here. He wants to work under Ineos and what they see going forward, and that's young players, coaching them and everything else like that. And that just doesn't mean in the United youth system, it means all over. And the scouting department will be out there looking for the type of player to play in this system.
Do you think it's all about, as well, Ruben Amorim getting the best out of the players Erik ten Hag signed as well? I mean, Mazraoui's come in this season, for me, Mr. Consistent. And you're looking at the likes of De Ligt, Yoro. I'm really looking forward to seeing him start playing for Manchester United. I think he will probably play on the right side of a defensive freak. Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah. I think when you look at the players, what Erik ten Hag signed and the players in the squad, Ruben Amorim, I don't think some of them are up to it. I mean, let's get something straight here, and I'm being honest with you. You look at the game at Ipswich, and that system totally exposed what we've been saying about age, about legs, and that was Casemiro and Eriksen. Just not up for it. But there's other players. So for me, straight away, with my own eyes, what I seen, look, it's my opinion, okay? They can't do 90 minutes playing in that game. But it's only what Ruben Amorim had at the time. Yeah. You know, they're the players he's worked with. He did say that before the game and after the game. And he's going to get down to work to get the right players in. And I don't know who the right players are. Ruben Amorim's got to show us.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's not going to be pretty for the next 6 months, because there's going to be ups and downs. There'll be some good games, some bad games, because players, when it's tactically like this, getting suited to it will take time.
There was a comment I read out earlier on talking about motivation, the players, the confidence. One player looks absolutely shot of confidence, and that's Xerxes. What are your thoughts on Xerxes right now? Do you think Amorim can get the best out of him? Do you think he's just not good enough to come to Manchester United, and someone in the recruitment department who made the decision to sign him, you know, should be looked at and questioned? What's your thoughts on him?
I'll say this. Under Erik ten Hag, he's not looked the part. He's not looked the hype of what we expected when he came. Definitely not looked, for many, many different reasons. So what it is, it's fresh start. That's how I look at it. He's under a different manager, different set of principles, different set of working, the way he works. Everything's changed. He will be given the chance like every other player. And for me, the jury's out on him. He's not had a good start. Sometimes players, and I've said it before, they come over to a new club and they have a very difficult time. And sometimes that we can't see why in the background, home life, settling in, everything else like that. These are the things what could affect. It's not looked pretty. There's no getting away from it. He's looked very, very poor. But under the new manager, new tactics, maybe he can change him. And we'll just have to sit and wait.
Steph, thanks for keeping an eye on the likes, how many people are watching. It's much appreciated. Everyone, smash a like on the video as well. Help support the channel and today's video. Arkati says, Ahmad was only wing-back for the last game. I don't think he will play there very often. When we have more players available, he'll be in the number 10 position. For me, the first choice as it stands right now on that left wing-back position is Luke Shaw. And I'd put Mazraoui right wing back as well for me right now. But like you say, there's many more games to go in the league and obviously cup games this season. So when we look back on it at the end of this season, it might have totally all changed.
Yeah, at the moment, a lot of fans, myself, yous included, have got their own preference to where certain players go. And we don't know. We're only giving our preference. It's one of them. It's at the moment, it's a toss-up. This week will be vital. We've got 2 games, one Thursday night, one Sunday. Amorim now knows. He's seen what players can and can't do. He's had the whole squad there, and he will introduce. And to be honest with you, if you look at Thursday's game, it's a nice introduction for new players in a new system going towards the big game, which really on Sunday against Everton is a massive game. Got to win that. We're at home. We need the points.
Paul Hagati from our members club, we're just going to have to be patient and let Amorim slowly build. I would love eventually to see United playing like his former club, Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, well, we must be patient, but the thing we mustn't do, and yourselves mustn't do, is overreact to something what you see, what's negative in that, because we are in a change. And this change has to work. And I look at Ruben Amorim and I say to myself, this is the right guy. He's got everything. I've said it. Who's his class? He knows what he's doing. But he's the right age and he has the communication skills. And I feel very strongly that he's on top of everything. And he's aware, and he was aware, well aware before he came of what the problems are. Yeah. And he's brought all his coaches with him. So we just can't overreact. What we see, negative football, players, it's all change, and it's experimental time, and it's the unknown for some of these players. So overreacting is not a good look when you know the next 6 months aren't going to be pretty. Yes, it might turn out in a quick, short space of time that it works, and if it works, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. We'll see better football, but I'm encouraged that this new system will bring us better football, and that in itself is a good thing.
The management team, though, they've got a huge responsibility, though, to give Amorim the tools and the resources he needs to change the squad around as well, so they can adapt to his style of play. And any players who can't adapt to it or who aren't putting in 100%, we've got then a challenge in behind them positions to bring in and just slot in when he needs it then. Yeah,
but the management aren't going to bring in. We know the difficulties getting in new players. We've got to shift players. We've got to shift, as people say, Deadwood. They've got to go. And I think we've got to look in January to slimming down this squad, because Amorim works with a small squad. Yeah. I think what you have to look forward to is the summertime. And that's why I say the 6 months, what can we do? What can we do in January? At this moment, there's no money. That's what we're all being told. Now, we might be wrong. Everyone out there might be wrong that there's no money. We might be shocked.
But then again, you don't go out when you've got a few quid and tell everyone that you've got a few quid to spend, because then they'll just hike the prices up. So you go in there low ball, pulling your pockets out. There's nothing in there.
Yeah, but you've also got to put in the case of, like, these owners, these people what are in charge in that, have they accepted under Erik ten Hag that they're not going to get top 4, they're not going to achieve anything, and that bringing Amorim now, quick, let's sack Erik, get Amorim in, and let's try and rescue the season the best way we can. So there might be an acceptance. Amorim's in, he works with young players. That's what I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos want. Yeah. That's what they want from a coach going forward. So there might just be an acceptance of, hey, let's just get through the season and then let's look at it and change everything in the summer. But in the meantime, get rid of the Deadwood in January. That might be the case. Then again, it might not. I'm just thinking.
What's your overall feeling right now? And obviously, it's a short space of time, just one game played. But with Marcus Rashford, do you think Amorim has a long-term vision for him to be playing as that central striker? Or when players become available, more time on the training ground like your Højlund, maybe your Xerxes, they'll slot back into that position and Rashford move back out onto the left or right?
I think it's pretty easy for me to go in on Rashford about will he be seen as this and seen as that. I think from my point of view, will any player be seen going into that position or anything? And the answer to that, as I see it, is no, because I don't think any of these players are guaranteed a place in the team in the position what we seen on Sunday, because Amorim tells you himself he will be changing people around. He will be putting him in different positions, and it's only over time will we know.
Good point by Zig in the chat. He says, people were complaining about no playing style before under Erik ten Hag. This is what it takes to rebuild it.
Well, this is what I'm excited about. I just know that this manager has got a different style. The old style, what we've seen, just clearly didn't work on a regular basis. Yes, now and again we had moments, but moments ain't good enough. This is Manchester United, the biggest club in the world. It's what we deserve. We deserve a playing style. We deserve players being able to go forward, attack and excite the crowd. And I believe that this manager, and I'm going to stick all the way through with him, doesn't matter what scores come along, Amorim is the man, and he will prove, well, the right decision to be brought in as a manager and a coach.
Mark H, let's go, lads. Hope you're having a great day. Love the content. Much appreciated, Mark, and everyone else out there. Continue to support the channel. As you all know, it's much appreciated. Robert Mansell says, look at the effort Ipswich front players put in compared to ours. That's not on Amorim or Erik ten Hag or the previous coaches, managers. That's purely down to the players.
Well, if you look at Ipswich, I didn't really go on about Ipswich after the game. If you've seen what they did, they just got themselves together and they fought. They run hard, physical, everything else like that. So I only have a short space of time in my after-match reaction, mainly about United. Obviously, it was Amorim's first game. I neglected, but I didn't have the time. But I have to give credit to the running, the tackling and the workmanship and the togetherness from this Ipswich side. They fought and they fought hard. So if they produce that week in, week out, their position in the league will go higher and higher. And to watch a team like that put in the effort, that's all you ask for. That is all you ask for when you go and watch a football match. Put everything into it. And Ipswich did that. Unfortunately, Manchester United players didn't do that. And some of them, they know where they're going to be in 6 months, maybe in 2 months.
Like I mentioned earlier on, Mazraoui for me has been Mr. Consistent this season, always giving you a 7 or an 8 out of 10. But another player I do think can keep his head held up high, and that's Andre Onana. I think he's been great this season. Some of the saves he's made has been world class. Well,
I highlighted, and you couldn't ignore Andre Onana, and I didn't give him man of the match. I didn't give anyone man of the match, but I should have given him man of the match. He's been really improved this year. The amount of abuse from fans, from media and everything he took last year. It was his first year, and I did say before, it does take players time and all that, but he seems improved. His positioning on the line, his coming out, his work rate, what he does with the ball, I think it's vastly improved. And the saves he's pulling, he would have saved that. Listen, he would have saved that. The form he was in, he would have saved that deflection, that shot on goal if it hadn't been deflected. And I think he's been absolutely top-notch this year and deserves all the accolades.
Yeah. We're going to have to end it there. We've got to get going. We've got a few bits to do. As of now, I've got to go and pick the kids up from school as well, believe it or not. But I'd just like to thank you all for joining us today, getting involved in the chat as usual. It's much appreciated. If you can leave a like on the video, it does help support the channel and today's video. We'll be back, though, with another live stream tomorrow. I promise you we'll do a longer one on Wednesday. So if you want to come and join us, get that notification on, and we'll have an all-round general Manchester United chat. Enjoy your day, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.